Let me welcome, she is the founder of The Crew. She's also the author of Drop the Ball. Let me welcome the one and only Tiffany Dufu. Welcome.
Thank you. I am honored to be here, Karen. I'm so honored.
Oh, thanks for, listen, I have been watching you soar. And before we get into what you're doing, has the last 6 months, I know we're in a pandemic and it's awful. We're also in this kind of weird space racially. Have you seen an uptick in interest in what you're doing as a result of your melanation?
Yes, yes, I have. In fact, I raised a seed round. I raised my second round of capital in July and had to go out at the height of the pandemic, which turned out to be a bit of a catalyst for our business. But I definitely have. Fortunately, I have really great investor, those like Peter Rojas, and I really need to give him a shout out. For those of you who aren't aware of what happens in the venture capital world, people like us don't get a lot of investment. In fact, of all venture that's been distributed since 2009, 0.06% of it has gone to Black female founders. Peter Rojas at BetaWorks was the first VC to say, I'm backing The Crew, I'm backing Tiffany Dufu. And I did not have an introduction to them like many of us don't. I submitted my pitch deck cold to the BetaWorks site, and he saw it and said, I see something in you. And they were my first check, my first VC check into The Crew.
Let's shout him out. Peter Rojas, the founder of Gizmodo, founder of Engadget, buddy of mine who has for the last 15 years showed up to talk to my students about the potential as a journalist for what you can do. He said that you are one of his best investments. Like this, he said, you are one of the best founders that he's ever seen. And so that's saying a lot. This man has founded a lot of companies and he has done a lot of things in this VC space. So that says something about you. So tell us about The Crew.
The Crew is here really to help take the work out of networking and help women to achieve their goals. My life's work is advancing women and girls. As you know, Karen, that's pretty much why I'm on the planet. The way it basically works is that you apply to become a member, and then we match you with a small circle of women, 8 of them. You become a crew and you collaborate to meet your life goals together. So it's all about intentionality. You decide what you want to achieve. I want to get a promotion this year. I just want to get my kids through this like virtual schooling for the rest of this year. I want more Instagram followers. I want to pay off this student loan, whatever it is for you. You upload those goals, those aspirations into a digital tracking tool, and your crew holds you accountable online, but also through these regular events that we call gatherings. So it's basically an accountability mechanism. You know, if you've ever been a part of, it's like kind of, sometimes people say, oh, this is like Weight Watchers, except for any goal that you have in your life, to have a group of people who are more intimate than your relationship you might have with your coworkers, but more objective than your friends. Just a group of people to hold you accountable for what you said you was going to do to move your life forward.
How did you come up with this idea?
Oh, as you know, I've been working on trying to get more women into leadership for a long time. I'm the cumulative investment of a lot of people who have mentored me, sponsored me in my life and in my career. And I would say over the past decade or so, I've really benefited from a group of women. There are 10 of us who regularly connect and put forth our goals and our ambitions and hold one another accountable. My crew holds my feet to the fire for what I want to do. And I just feel like every woman needs a group like this. But in January of 2018, I was having a meeting with a woman. I meet with a lot of women because I'm just here to serve. And I was giving her this pep talk that I used to give all the time ad nauseum about how you need to find your crew. You know, you need a group of people who can do X, Y, or Z. And fortunately, she was really honest with me and saying, I understand theoretically what you're talking about, but I don't think someone like you really appreciates the amount of work that goes into finding your crew. You make it sound very easy. And then she walked me through the workflow. She was like, okay, so basically, Tiffany, I'd have to get access to the cocktail party or the conference or the event that you get invited to speak at. So it's no big deal for you. Then I have to awkwardly introduce myself to a bunch of strangers, collect all of the business cards. You want me to dig them out of the bottom of my bag, or my desk drawer, reach out to all these people, schedule the coffees, the teas, the lunches. Did I mention I had to take time off of my job to come meet you at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday? You want me to have all these conversations, find out who I'm compatible with, curate a group of 8 or 9 of us, and then host regular events where we're supposed to put forth our goals together. Like, I read your book, Drop the Ball. I have a full-time job. I have 3 kids. I have a mom with a diagnosis and a dog and a commute. I don't have time to find my crew. So if this is your advice to me, I just don't think it's realistic. And I don't think it's realistic, not just for me, but for a lot of women. And that for me was what I call a Tiffany's epiphany moment. Some people call them aha moments, where it just really hit me. If your life's work really is advancing women and girls, you should probably stop preaching to women about what they need to do. And you should probably just find the crew for them. And so that's what I decided to do. I made her a promise, and I make a promise to every woman, who takes the time to apply, that I'll do my best to make sure that you have what you need to move your life forward.
Give me some praise reports, some success stories from the inception of this great idea.
Oh, there are so many. We have crew members, one who had an intention of getting a promotion. She wanted an executive role with chief in the title. She was very specific. I believe in the specificity of manifesting what you want. And she is now in a CEO role. I have another member who is a real estate agent. And the irony is that she is African-American. She had a plot of land. She's out in Denver that was literally 40 acres that she was responsible for selling and hadn't sold it. And that was her intention, to sell this 40 acres. And she finally sold it. She sent me this great photograph of herself on this plot of land with all of this snow that says, I sold the 40 acres. And for those of you who understand our history, the irony of that. We've had members who have paid off loans. We have a public school teacher who wanted to get a PhD and actually applied and got into her program with the full fellowship. Every day, members are realizing the intentions that they want for their lives. I'm glad you asked the question. No one's ever asked me that, Karen, but it's the most rewarding. No one's ever asked me that. It's the most rewarding part of what I do, is hearing from members about how they've moved themselves forward.